Hello, and welcome to Matt University's series on town roads. Today we'll be discussing county road reversion and how that can affect your township. Today we'll be talking about three things: the statutory basis, the process the county must use, and then potential coping strategies for townships facing this issue. This power comes from Minnesota Statute 163.11. You're seeing selections from that statute on your screen now, specifically selections from Subdivision 1 and Subdivision 5. The big picture is this: the county board may, by resolution, revoke a county highway. If they do so properly, then the highway shall revert to the town in which it is located. This power is only effective, however, if the county follows the process laid down in Minnesota statutes. In the next few minutes, we're going to be walking through that process with an eye towards tactics that a town can use to potentially mitigate the damage caused by the exercise of this power. This list is a big picture list of what the county has to do in order to actually effect a road reversion. Minnesota Statute 163.11 is ordered in a bit of a weird way. It starts by requiring a resolution and then sort of works backwards from there. This list gives the items in the chronological order they must occur for the sake of clarity. It begins with notice. Minnesota Statute 163.11 Subdivision 5A says that, quote, before adopting a resolution revoking a county highway that would revert in whole or in part to a town, the county board shall fix a date, time, place, and hearing in the town in which the highway is located to consider the revocation. Not less than 30 days before that hearing, the county board shall serve notice of the hearing by certified mail on each member of the town board of supervisors. After that hearing, the county can adopt a resolution, which itself has certain requirements in order to have an effective date. Then finally, there's certain requirements imposed on the county for post-reversion maintenance. Notice is how the process begins. Not less than 30 days before the hearing, the county board shall serve notice of the hearing by certified mail on each member of the town board of supervisors. Note the different requirements here. First, we have a 30-day requirement. That notice must be given 30 days before the hearing. It has to be by certified mail. It's not enough to just call. They have to give certified mail. And it also has to be on each member of the town board of supervisors. The next step in the process is a hearing. The county board cannot adopt the resolution until they hold that hearing, and that hearing must meet certain minimum requirements. Specifically, the town board and all other interested persons are, quote, entitled to be heard and express their views on the proposed resolution, unquote. This power is exercised through a resolution. So in the next few minutes, we're going to be talking about the ingredients that have to go into that county board resolution in order for it to be effective. As a general rule, Minnesota courts are extremely lenient about what actually counts as a resolution. The statement that you are seeing on your screen comes from a 1965 case in which the Minnesota Supreme Court held that resolutions need not be tied to the traditional be it resolved formula, nor need they even be in writing. That said, there are certain requirements on this kind of resolution. That requirement comes from 163.11 itself. If the county is trying to establish a new highway, there's another additional list, but obviously that's not our concern today. Relevant to the road reversion section of the statute, there's only one, and that comes from Minnesota Statute 163.11 Subdivision 2, that it must contain a description of the highway. Now, that requirement prompts a bit of a question. What happens if they mess it up? Well, this particular issue has at least in part been litigated. In 1923, the Minnesota Supreme Court held that it's not fatal for a county to be rough or approximate in its description of the relevant road. However, there are additional requirements for the resolution to become effective. Two in particular, both of these from 163.11. The county must properly record with the county recorder all county interest in real estate used for the highway, and they must also complete repairs or improvements on the highway that are necessary to meet the county standards for a comparable road in the county in which the town is located. Now, that improvement language is potentially pretty useful for townships. This means that the road itself must be brought up to county spec, not just repaired, before the county can actually effect this power. One reason that's so important is because of the county maintenance requirement. The county is required to maintain a highway that formerly was a county highway that has been revoked to a town for a period of 2 years following the effective date of the resolution. That means that since the resolution isn't effective until they have completed that work, this period can potentially be lengthy. In the last section of this presentation, we'll talk through some potential strategies a township can use to mitigate the impact of a county using this power. The first strategy is simply to hold the county to their proper process. Remember, the county is on the hook for maintenance for 2 years from the effective date of the resolution. So they must have recorded their interest with the county recorder, and they must have brought the road up to county standards for a comparable road in the county. This can require improvements, not just repairs. So make sure to do your homework and check if they have done theirs, because potentially you can receive maintenance monies for an extended period of time in the event that the county has not done this properly. Minnesota Statute 163.11 requires that the county board hold a hearing and it entitles affected people to speak. The county board, of course, are also political actors and are also responsible to their constituents. Now, this isn't strictly a legal strategy, but more of a political one. If you can get enough attendance at that meeting objecting, while there is no binding statute that prohibits the county from continuing to vacate, you can potentially get the county to back off as a matter of good politics. The last strategy we'll discuss is one that appears on the face of Minnesota Statute 163.11, and it's probably not a good strategy. Now, Subdivision 5 of 163.11 purports to allow the vacation of revoked roads. Roads or streets or any portion thereof so revoked and turned over to a town may be vacated by the town in the same manner as other town roads are vacated. Now, this appears to be the most practical strategy when dealing with a potentially expensive county road, but in practice this is unlikely to work. The difficulty comes from Minnesota Statute 160.03, which provides that local roads are not effectively vacated when they are the only means of access to any property or properties containing an area or a combined area of 5 acres or more. It may not be vacated without the consent of the property owner unless other means of access are provided. So in practice, most of the roads that we see reverted under 163.11 are impossible to vacate because of this bar in 160.03. Thank you for your time and attention. If you'd like to see more information on this subject, document TR 4000 has additional material.